episode. I'm going to shut my phone down, huh?
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the 56th episode of the Buffalo Community Podcast. We've got a man by many names. A lot of you know him as Johnny Fish, Johnny Olson.
This is the Buffalo Community Podcast.
And Rusty
all about
overtalks
the greatest small town in the
Always
USA.
stepping on your touchdown
The people
calls.
in it,
Thank
and
you,
how
Rusty.
it all works together. Here are your hosts, Tyler Reiss and Mark Benzer.
Rusty, thank you so much for that introduction. But we've got with us Johnny Olson. You might know him as Johnny Fish, Fish something, but more importantly is maybe the sunflower guy. That's what he's here today for, Fish Sunflowers.
Hey,
Johnny, thanks for coming
Hi, everybody.
in.
Thanks for having me. This is
Thanks
awesome.
for coming in.
So he
You
said
bet.
this with his 100th podcast that he's done, so he's going to
100th,
knock
yes.
it out of the
Seasoned vet.
park.
Yeah,
Knock
I've
it
had
out of
lots
the
of
park.
questions,
So-
and this is, no.
We'll
I
just
have
get
not.
out of your
This
way.
is my first one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for coming in.
You bet, buddy. You bet.
Why don't you take a 20,000-foot view of Fish Sunflowers?
Oh, boy. So where it started,
Sure.
how it started.
Start from the beginning.
Perfect.
All right. Well, I guess I grew up on a little hobby farm out in Becker Township, and basically I just loved equipment and loved farming, and my grandfather's always talked about the farm and serving the country. I was
Sure.
like, man, this is awesome. And I loved them. I'm named after both of them. And I just wanted to contribute to my community, to my family, but then also kind of fulfill that longing to do some farming and to learn something, you know?
Yeah.
And the sunflowers kind of gave me that opportunity. And so I guess it started for growing flowers for an old timer that was suffering.
Yep.
It was like a 5-generation farm that was next door to my parents' place, and I'm like, someday I'm gonna own that place, and I'm gonna be able to make at least decide what I'm gonna do with it. You know what I
Sure.
mean? It was super cool. It was run down. So I ended up buying it. I worked a deal with them, cleared the land, built fence, did the pergolas above the driveway. Really wanted to make it like a park setting, and anyways, I cleared the land. I grew him some flowers, and he had a green thumb for growing flowers.
Yeah.
And I grew him some sunflowers, and next thing you know, people started showing up, and did it again another year, and he cut a flower or two, and it was just kind of a good way to connect with people,
Sure.
with no strings attached. And thought I'd get an ice cream truck. You know, it was hot that one year, that second or third year I did it, and didn't cost anybody anything. It was just like, hey, come have a ice cream cone and pick a flower, or come take a picture. And next thing you know, it's like, hey, this is pretty cool. And people start telling you stories about, hey,
Yeah.
I went through this. This is what the sunflower means to me. And then everything just got nuts.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just the way it's taken off has to be just something that is beyond your wildest dreams.
Ridiculous, you guys. It was absolutely crazy. It's been awesome. I'm on fire for it. I just absolutely am in love with
Yeah.
it. Yep.
You've been, I mean, to say it's taken off like wildfire is, to say the least. Your Fish Sunflowers, 32,000 strong on Facebook.
Yeah.
Featuring Care 11, CBS. I mean, you're known as the sunflower guy.
I'm the flower guy.
And was that ever an intention? Otherwise, it was just local community, but it's spreading, and people are coming from all around the state, maybe the Midwest.
There is so much, and forgive me, I don't know what camera to look at.
Don't look at the
people are out
camera.
there like,
Yeah.
hey, whatever. But
For all
I think-
250,000 of our viewers here,
Okay.
we'll
all right, and
we're having a conversation about this.
So I think it is. It's grown. It's become just something so powerful and so amazing. And to hear people's stories, to give them a voice to some of the voiceless, has been incredible. And I get emotional every time I talk about it. So we started out with one field, which grew, and then I decided we're going to do another field. Again, it's farming. You never know what weather will bring.
Sure.
Right? You might get hail. You might get high winds. You might get a tornado. You just don't know. So we did 2 fields, and I tell you what, we've had great seasons. Thank God. We've had just great seasons, and when we get close to having these flowers bloom, we go in and we put trails in and we set some props up. And the whole idea is that you come with $0, 0 donations. There's no political signs, right? It's just a place of peace. It's like a sanctuary, and it basically gives people a canvas to be artistic. Just come out and paint a picture, take a picture, but be the positive algorithm that we truly need in this world. And we hashtag spread the sunshine, hashtag fish sunflowers,
Right.
And again, it's growing. I mean, to give you an example, we set up a website last year, and the moment we went live with it, within 2 hours we had 5,900 people sign up for an e-newsletter for updates.
Holy
So
cow.
that's just within the first few hours. So this thing has absolutely just blown up, and it's thank yous, or how can we help spread the sunshine? How can we get some seeds?
Sure.
Where it's like totally overwhelming.
Right.
It's great.
Yeah.
Great problem to have.
Yeah,
Great
buddy.
problem to have.
So yeah, it's great.
So coming into this year, what can Buffalo do to help? This is the Buffalo Community Podcast. What can Buffalo do to help fish sunflowers, to maybe solidify a sunflower field here in Buffalo?
So we're working on a couple locations. The whole idea, I think, right now is working with some farmers, and then just having farmers understand that, hey, I can come in after you plant. If it's headland, I can come in after you plant. The flowers will bloom. The flowers will be gone before you harvest. So I think that's the biggest question or biggest concern for some farmers is like, hey, if we do this, I don't want it to mess up the operation.
Right.
And the idea is, hey, guys, we can get in and get out before it's like we're not even there.
Sure.
So we're looking for some spots, but really, I think it's just having a good, positive attitude, be warm and welcoming. There's a lot of people that come to town for these fields. They're not extravagant. They're not unbelievable. They're not huge.
Sure.
But man, they mean a lot. And I think I missed that point about these fields is every field is planted in honor of someone or something that's been either inspirational to me or someone in my life.
Yeah.
And man, I'm telling you, so we went from 1 field to 2 fields, and then last year we did 12. We released 10.
Yeah, wow.
Right? We had some hail stuff, but and I don't want to forget to get back to Buffalo about how they can help. But I think the big thing there is just having a good positive attitude and realize that, hey, no matter where these field ends up, that it's short-lived. It's 7 to 10 days. It'll be okay.
Sure.
And believe me, the world needs it. So yeah.
I'm kind of curious. More curious on. So you said 7 to 10 days. Like when you think of a crop of something, it's planting, it's all season, it's months. But in their full bloom of a sunflower, it's 7 to 10 days. So
Typically the variety that I'm planting is 7 to 10 days.
Sure.
I do mix in some colors and stuff with some hybrid flowers that last a bit longer, a few weeks. But again, that all depends on how much sun, how much water.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really it's really fun to watch because you don't know when it's going to happen, and then it just happens.
Sure.
if
blooms.
you had to pick like a 3 or 4 week window, when does it usually happen?
Well, as far as
bloom,
like,
the
50 to 60 days after planting.
Sure.
Right? So by 70 days, it's all history. I mean, a lot of these we basically donate to the community or birds or deer or turkeys.
Sure.
So we can either leave them standing or we can cut them down.
Sure.
But nothing's wasted.
Okay.
Sure.
So so 12 fields last year. Again, I was on the tractor. I thought, okay, with COVID and everything that's going on, I don't know how work's going to be. I've got the equipment. I'm just going to do this and put some posts out and say, hey guys, I mean, yes, I will come do this from start to finish. This is what we're all about. And the community was so warm and welcoming about it. Monticello, Big Lake, Becker. We did 2 in Andover, 2 in Dayton, Albert Lee, Zimmerman, Orrock.
Albert Lee.
Yep.
Doesn't
went to
exactly
Albert
fit in that geographical
Lee.
location.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Part of it's the challenge. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I hauled a piano down to Albert Lee.
Okay.
Yeah, as a prop. I mean, so you've got all your equipment on there. You might stick a prop or 2 on there.
Sure.
But the whole idea is that people can relate to tractors and they can relate to a piano, and they all have a story. And that's what's really, really neat. Is all these props have a story behind them.
Yeah.
And we can all relate in a different way to them. And the whole story about most of these props that were used hasn't been told yet. And it will someday.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's really kind of fun.
You brought some of those stories with, and Mark is going to read some of that right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So, some of these are really, really, really deep. And again, flowers are beautiful. Anyone can grow them. But the people behind these flowers is what's the most beautiful thing ever, and the stories behind them. So they've really promoted joy and healing and comfort.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. So like I'll do a Facebook message or do like a live video, and most of the time I end up crying. I'm not a crier, but I'm walking in to meet these folks, and then all of a sudden I get a message. Oh, you know what? I want to let you know that I just am so thankful that I was able to hug my dad out in one of your fields. I got these awesome pictures, but Dad hurt his back. And it just happened the other day. Dad hurt his back, went into the hospital, found he had stage 4 cancer. We couldn't hold him. We couldn't see him. He's been there since December and died March 4th. He says, the funeral for him is on such and such day, and I want you to know that we will proudly be sharing these stories and these photos at his funeral. And like that's just a start, right?
Like I got goosebumps there.
So we did a field for we always release in honor of who those were planted for, those fields.
Yep.
And I think it's probably important to share a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Dementia, individuals, cancer. We've done some mental health awareness stuff. Caregivers, educators, individuals that lost the child prematurely at a young age, SIDS or stillborn. Unbelievable amount of individuals that have reached out on some of those. A lot of moms and dads that have a lot of hurt losing a kid really young.
Yeah.
And I'm talking thousands of people have been showing up to these things, and it's just been a good way for them to just heal. So I get really emotional about it. Yeah. So it's been really great to give them the canvas to be able to express themselves, to be able to have that peace, to be able to take the walk. And man, if you get a chance, you can check out the page, right? And it just watch and look, and it's so incredible, some of the stuff. So I don't know if you want to read one. I mean, there's a post that's oh boy. There was a post that a photographer had reached out and shared, and I think you could probably read either one of them that she had written. Let's just try this guy right here. So read this one, and this was the first field that this gal had come to, and this was in Corcoran, and it has some pictures, and it's really sweet. So maybe do your best to read that, and then I'll have you read the other one.
Sure.
Okay? And
Sounds
we'll kind of
good.
give you an idea what's cooking a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so this one says, thank you so much for sharing the beauty of these flowers with everyone. My daughter, Everly, passed away shortly after her birth on 9/8/2015. The day she went to heaven, all our sunflowers in our backyard bloomed facing the sunset. They are Everly's flowers to my family, a way we still find her beauty on earth with us. A sign she's okay and waiting for us. I took my own kiddos with me on Sunday to get some photos after my mini sessions, sharing a story about our experience. It meant more to our hearts than most would realize. It's hard being a mama to a child in heaven. I didn't realize I was standing right next to Johnny on the way out, or I would have thanked you in person. My son Tommy loved your tractor as well.
So that's part of like the start of her coming to these fields, and like, okay, she was a photographer, and we invite these photographers to come out. Zero strings attached. These guys have been hurting. These guys have been suffering. I mean, in a whole new way, as far as like, they're not taking graduation pictures as much. They're not doing the prom photos. They're not this. They're not this. All right, that stuff was not happening. So you get these folks that are like, they're broke. I mean, they have families to provide for. Their computer's not working. Their camera's old. Something's going haywire. They need help. Sure. So the idea is like, hey, come on out, take pictures. All I ask is that you pay it forward and you spread positivity and be that positive algorithm.
Yep.
And these folks, I told them to book them. You book them from sun up to sundown. There's no reason why you can't come here and make a few bucks, all I ask is that you share a story or you'll spread the sunshine your own way.
Sure.
Yeah.
So there's another one I'd share with you. Let's see if we can pull that up.
All right.
Let's see if this is it here.
So as you're looking that up, if you are a photographer and do need a canvas, I mean, do they get in contact with you? Do they just show up? Do they get in contact with you and said, hey, we want to have our sessions out there? You know, maybe they haven't heard about this project, but you know, it's easy to book a full day if you just got your families coming in.
Tell you what I've learned is that the more people you get involved and the more corporate things get,
Sure.
the longer things take to just get things done.
Sure.
And, you know, a lot of folks, and I don't mean to say this the wrong way, you know, they're sending thoughts and prayers on things.
Yep.
And it means a lot to a lot of people, but someone's got to get up and do something.
Yep.
Someone's got to make something happen. You know what? Tyler needs some water. I want to help water. You know, give you some water. Mark needs something. You know what? Mark, let's make it happen. Some decisions need to be made and some changes need to happen. And some of these folks don't have a lot of time to make these decisions. They need help now.
Yeah.
And this was I hope was a delightful surprise to some of these photographers to be able to make a few bucks. So I think my point being, they don't need to sign up. They don't need to ask for permission. The whole idea is every field, the landowner is the boss. They can make the rules. Those rules are set in place.
Yeah.
Abide by them so you don't mess it up for everybody else. Otherwise, from sun up to sundown, they're yours to make hay.
Yep.
You know, just take your photos, and you wouldn't believe these photos.
And you can find locations on
fishsunflowers.com. Yep. The locations, we share that they're in town, right? Or what town they're in, if it's Buffalo or Andover or Monticello or whatever it is. But we don't release the address until just a few days before they bloom. And that just prevents the premature traffic. And that we're trying to keep things as stable as possible.
Kind of a mystery.
So it is a mystery.
Yeah.
So it become a following where people are like, they're going from one field to the next field,
Yeah.
to the next field, to the next field. And there's different crops.
Cool.
It's a treasure hunt, kind of.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely.
So this is that same photographer, and I hope she's okay. I know her a bit now. I've gotten to know her, and I know she'd be okay with us sharing this. But this was one that we did in Zimmerman for individuals that lost a child prematurely, stillborn SIDS, and give that a go.
Sure. Okay.
She is a unique.
Thank you for the perfect place to have a birthday party for our Everly yesterday. So this is 5, baby girl. I'll still always call you that because my youngest daughter, you'll always stay. But this is 5. So much time has passed and I feel you here on my chest just like yesterday. Today was all for you. With everything we did today, it was intentional because it was your day, the day of your birth. You fought for so long, baby girl. I know you longed to breathe in my arms. Your 20 minutes was amazing. I'm sorry I missed your fight. But know I was there fighting too. I would honestly do anything for you, and over again. But that one day was all we got, that 20 missed minutes handing you into arms of doctors, hoping to give you more than 20 minutes. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that our love and everyone's fight was not enough. Today hurt without you here, more than I anticipated. It's so quiet, celebrating a birthday girl dancing in heaven. I know heaven's a wonderful place to celebrate, but if I could just hug my big 5-year-old for 1 second, maybe today would have felt better. I really wish heaven worked like that. I really, really do. These years might be a little easier living without you in my arms. I whispered to your dad at the very end of the day. It still hurts. He said, I know. But he also said this, that you've done more for us than we could have ever done for you. And I think, baby girl, that your dad is a very smart man. You've opened up our hearts to love further. You've brought new friends in our life, deepened the good ones we already had. You sent us the gift of a brother on earth to hold, who's a miracle we never thought we'd get again. You've shown us how fleeting life is. We cherish it more You've opened my heart to a different path behind a lens, and I can see this year this path you meant me to take. We had different dreams as a family now, a different sense of a watchful eye, a lot of love, and a knack for enjoying the small things in life. You taught us that messages from heaven come in so many ways, but your favorite way is through your sunflowers, sunsets, butterfly kisses. I'm sorry your garden in our yard or sunflowers didn't do well this year, but I'm so thankful Minnesota was blessed with a man named Johnny Fish. He planted so many sunflowers. I've got...
I know, this is tough. This is tough.
You gotta read
We'll
it.
come back to
You
that.
can do it. You can do it. Come on. You can do it, buddy. You can do it.
He planted so many sunflowers. I've gotten to visit every field but one, and working and walking through those sunflowers have left me with so much peace. We decided to have your birthday party in one today. Us, your sisters, grandparents, aunties, and uncles, friends, godmother Sarah, and your friend Brooklyn came to celebrate. Mom took a break, hired a photographer for once. It was perfect, probably the only time I really felt joyful and at peace today. Your birthday party was 100% meant to be in that sunflower field. It was a dreary day, but I prayed for a sunset all day, and at the last minute I spotted those pink skies you left me to spy, shining from your party in heaven.
You're doing
It's
great,
getting
buddy.
dusty in here.
Yeah. Sorry, but we're there.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about, guys. Is
I know you were surrounded by love today, baby, both here and in heaven. Alice asked where your present was. I told her mom gifted to another this year since Everly isn't here to receive. Mom gifted photos to family connected and meant to receive from your sister. But I wish I could experience 5 on earth with you. Kindergarten, your first loose tooth, maybe you do dance, maybe soccer. Would you love our chickens too? Or love tractors like your brother? I'll never know. I hate that still. Tums calls sunflower sissy. Alice talks about you every day. They should have had you here. We love you, big girl, to heaven and back. I hope you felt how loved you were today. And really every day. But celebrate a little extra today, because today was your special day forever and always.
Yeah, buddy. So sorry to put you on the spot on that.
That's all right.
So these fields aren't just like sunflowers. It's just like COVID's taken away from a lot away from a lot of people. The intimacy, reflecting, connecting, growing, contributing with each other. It's just really disconnected a lot of us. And this has been a creative way to work between the lines that we're outside. We're in a safe spot. Mm-hmm. No one's judging anybody, and people are able to kind of vent and connect. And I'm telling you, like, that's just one. There's been thousands of emails like that where it's like I was not ready for that. But but then they see or you see them or you get to know them. It's like, man, this is so incredible. This is so powerful. Like this is, but it's again, cancer patients. It's COVID individuals that passed away. These individuals that have lost these young kids. We did one in Albert Lee, and the Albert Lee was really suffering. They had eight kids pass away unexpectedly in their high school in 1 year, from my understanding. So we thought, well, there's been a lot of stuff going on where let's try to bring the community together. And mm-hmm. You know what? My cousin had said, hey, let's do some crosses or whatever, and they can put their name on it. We made 40 of those, and we thought we'd never use them. And before we were done, we had 184.
Sure.
And we put them up along the driveway, so when you come in to this old farmstead, you come to these flowers. And the flowers are, they're a couple acres of flowers that go into the woods, and it's nothing extravagant. It's just nothing extravagant, but it turned this most amazing, like, spiritual, whatever you want to call it, ride. And you see these folks that have lost these young kids or a son or a daughter to suicide. And I mean, these people are still hurting and they're in their 80s, you know. I mean, and there's some of these videos and some of the stuff online, you'll see it. And if you see me crying, and most of the time I am, you'll know why.
Yeah.
You have these people's voices in your head and these images in your head and just these thoughts for these folks. And man, I found my passion, and that's people and serving. It's always been that, and I'm going to do it to the day I die, doggone it. So,
Absolutely.
sorry for getting all choked up.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah.
No. I think, to me, the biggest surprise is that, to me, a sunflower field is, or any kind of a flower field is something pretty to look at. And it never really struck me as something that would bring along with it emotion. Is it a more emotional than you anticipated when this was going, or is this kind of what you envisioned, that it's going to be more than just something pretty to look at?
You know, it's always pretty to look at. I knew that they meant a lot. I think that they just mean so much to me personally, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just really glad that people will like them. Pretty to look at, but then just what they represent. I mean, if you look it up at Google, I mean, they just represent a lot of really great things. And yellow is just, it's bright and it's joyful, it's delightful, and yeah. I mean, I had no idea what I was about to crack open.
Right.
I mean, I don't do live videos, I don't do podcasts, I don't do much online. And last year I tried it. I just thought I'm gonna share that I'm doing this, and well, here I am. You know, bawling my eyes out and in front of a bunch of people, you know. So
That was three of us there. Thank you for reading that, Mark. I don't think I could have done that.
you did good.
And thanks to the person who did share that, because
Yeah.
that can't be easy to write and share that feeling. And, you know, it's, again, I encourage people to go.
Go
See
check
what
it out. Go
yeah.
check it out. You'll see what I'm talking about. The last hour of the day, they call it the golden hour. You'll see every make and model of individual. I mean, you'll see every type of person, and it's really cool. And a lot of them are dressed in their finest, taking their pictures or bringing a picture of a loved one, and you know, and they set the picture on the piano and sit on the piano. It's just really cool. Share a story, and then they connect each other. And they connect with these people. It's just like this. It's just an incredible, awesome thing that I can't not do. I'm in. I'm sold. I'm totally sold.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's again one story. I want to tell you about another one that I did that actually is it's sad, but it's uplifting. It was really special. Sure. If you're okay with me sharing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we had grown a field in Corcoran, and we had opened it up. And we had, you know, shared what this field represents, and it turned into, you know, 1,000 people this day and another 1,000 people this day. By the time we were done, and this isn't too typical, but we had about 40,000 people come through one field. The news stations caught wind of what was going on. It was on TikTok. The radio stations were sharing stuff, and it was like, oh boy. Like, this is someone's private land. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Sorry, neighbors. But so we got this huge following where it just really took off. And then the second field was supposed to take some of those people and kind of release the pressure is what I had planned. The second field was actually leased from a large power company. And they were concerned about liability. Really concerned about liability. Aware of what we're doing, but I don't think they had the idea how big this could be.
40,000 people are going to be.
This is a big deal, and this could be dangerous. And you know what? We haven't had no trouble at all. No one's gotten it. It's just been so wonderful. Just
Those
throw
damn
out there.
corporate lawyers.
You know, I just say, hey, don't be a corporate baby. You know, a lot of these people are sticking their necks out to give back to their community, to help their community, and realize that we really, really need it, and there isn't a price you can put on it. So I got to just commend them for doing that for us.
That's so
these
funny.
folks. You know what I mean?
The nerdy insurance guy is like, we're having this really great emotional conversation, and in the back of my head I'm going, well, what if somebody gets hurt on some farmer's land? And I'm like, I'm not going to go there, but it's in the back of my head.
You know, it's,
anyway.
I tell folks it's not an event. It's not an event. There's no money being transferred. There's no donation box. There's zero strings attached. I can't let you down. The price is right.
Yeah.
It just, and you know what? You're going to make it what you make it. Be respectful to these folks, and they have. It's been incredible. So anyways, getting back to the second field. So I grew this field, and I had this gal in mind, and her name was Lynn Haldy. Lynn got diagnosed with colon cancer. She was a teacher. A lot of folks out there probably know her. Really, really sweet, super unique, awesome approach to people, brilliant mind, just loved nature and loved animals. And anyways, I knew she was going through a hard time, and I'm like, I'm going to grow these flowers. When I'm on that tractor, I'm thinking of her. And I wanted to surprise her with those flowers. I had no idea how tough shape she was in. But the flowers started to bloom. Corcoran Field was pretty much bloomed out. Care 11 had called me and said, hey, we're heading to Corcoran Field. I said, I tell you what, I'm not there. I'm actually working on this other field. I was going to release it. Trails are in. Props, you know, there's some props that were in. But I can't release it to the public. You know, I gotta respect the landowner. You just have to.
Yeah.
So I'm bumming. I'm bumming, man. What am I going to do? I've got this window where these flowers are, it's a beautiful ocean of sunflowers, and I can't share it with the world. People kept going, Corcoran, the flowers weren't that great, they were looking for some bright yellow sunflowers. And anyway, so Care 11 called up, said, we're heading to Corcoran, we'll be there in 15 minutes. I said, I'm not there, I'm over here in this other location. How long will you be there? I'll be here a bit. Okay, we'll be there in 45 minutes. 30 minutes. Yep, I'll be here. I'll wait for you. Care 11's on their way to do some interview. I smell like a skunk, filthy, And I get a call from Rusty, Lynn's husband. And again, grew these flowers for Lynn. And she kept missing the opportunity to come out to these fields, or this field. She didn't know. She just was sick.
Yeah.
Calls me up, says, hey, I tell you what, she's feeling up to it today. She's feeling really good. Her appointment got kicked back till 2:30 or whatever. We got a little bit window of time. We can be there in 45 minutes. Like, absolutely. Dude, this is perfect. You come on over. I mean, when I'm thinking to myself, I don't want Lynn to know. I want to surprise her. And I said, Rusty, I got to tell you one thing, man. Care 11's going to be here. And Jim, he's in the car. Is that okay? Oh, we'll see you there in 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Care 11 showed up, told him the story, said, you guys aren't going to believe this, but the gal that I planted these flowers for, the lady that I planted these flowers for, I've been trying to get over here for a couple of weeks, is going to be coming up that driveway in like 15 minutes, 10 minutes. They set up their cameras, whatever, did their thing, and it's on the page. And it was an amazing meeting. She come up there, and I hadn't seen her in a while. She was sick.
Yeah.
So,
that's I believe it's kismet that's happened.
So it was just divine. So
Yeah.
she come there, and I basically told her the flowers for her, and you can catch the reaction online. It's amazing. But the big thing was, because she's so into animals and nature and the birds and the butterflies, she'd asked, I'd like to keep this for them. So having people come, some of those birds fly away.
Yeah.
Some of those butterflies fly away. She wanted to keep it for the nature, and it worked out perfect. It was just a delightful surprise.
So the fact that you couldn't release it to the public, it kept it for the animals. It was
her wish, and they're still
still
standing today. They're still standing.
Oh, wow.
They went through the winter, and the birds and the bees and the turkeys and the deer have been able to just do their thing. So it really was really heartbreaking for me, but I was able to give it to the person I wanted to give it to. I was able to fulfill the wish that she had wished, and Lynn passed away a couple months after. Wow. So yeah, that's how my year started last year, with just Corcoran and all that going on, and then having that rush all of people. I mean, I had a full-time gig, and then it was so unbelievable. Wow. But like I said, I'm hooked. I'm in love, and it was insane. That's just, again, couple of stories.
Right.
And boy, I could go on and on and on and on. And I mean, I could go on and on and on. Yep. So, yeah.
Great transition. Is there a message that you want to leave for our viewers as we wind this down?
You know what? In my book of random thoughts, I would just say that, you're loved, you're appreciated. You got to give it a good effort no matter what. You don't have to be perfect. It's okay to cry. We need positivity. We need to spread some sunshine. We really, really do. And we got to get creative and reconnect with one another. And boy, I tell you what, there's so much I want to say. I just think that's the biggest thing. Is just know that, hey, you don't have to be perfect. Give it a good go. Put a good effort in. Like Grandpa took you fishing. It probably wasn't the best fishing trip you ever had, but you know what? You remember it, and you know that he really give it a good effort, a good goal to make a good memory with you. And that's, I guess, my 2 cents is to do that for one another, pay it forward. So come with $0, 0 donations, no expectations. The price is right. Make yourself at home. Just build this awesome continuity with one another. We got to rebuild it. It's not about turning the state yellow it's not about turning the state red or blue. It's about turning it yellow, Really just we got to just change our ways.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
Oh man.
Was this your playoff?
Might
Johnny,
be.
thank you so much for sharing. For the Buffalo Community Podcast, I'm
Love you
Tyler
guys.
Reiss.
I'm Mark Benzer.
I'm Johnny Fish. Thanks for tuning in. You guys rock.